Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Taking Trades. Happy Wednesday to you. We've got more to talk about today as we saw something a little bit unexpected. We thought we were going to get that strong reach down to the support level in UGAZ, and what happened? We didn't quite get that. So we're going to talk about UGAZ today. We're going to talk about DGAZ as well. We're going to jump into the natural gas futures. We're going to touch real quick on the weather. It's not much to talk about, but we'll dive into it just a little bit. And then I'm going to dive into the charts and show you exactly what's happening in terms of support and resistance and what actually played out today. And then I have a surprise for you again at the end of this video. I'm going to show you one of my trades where I nibbled shares at support levels and then I took profits going into resistance. So I'm going to show you my technique for that so you can compare it to yours and kind of mold it over and just see what you think. See if your strategy is good. See if you like my strategy. And then if you have questions, you can post them in the comments below and let me know what you think. Also in this video, I'm going to leave a code word at the end of the video. So watch this whole thing to the end. And at the very end of the video, I'm going to say a code word. The first 5 people that comment below and report the code word, I'm going to pick one of them and I'm going to let you decide what topic I make a video on coming up. So let's dive into things. Okay, so the weather is remaining unchanged. Things are mild. They're not getting super cold. That cold shot coming in from Canada isn't going to play a large role. So demand is going to remain moderate. And then moving into the weekend, things are supposed to cool off a little bit and demand should switch over to high. This is pretty much the same status as yesterday, so we won't really get too far into the weather. We'll just kind of leave it where it is. And we're looking forward to Thursday's natural gas storage report 1 hour after the opening of the market, so that we can see what's happening, whether or not we get storage or if we get our first withdrawal, which would be super exciting. So with this, I want to jump into the charts. I want to break down the price action on UGAZ and DGAZ and the natural gas futures. Let's go. Hey everybody, real quick, I just wanted to say half of you watching the video right now aren't subscribed. So please jump down in the comments area, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. If you're new to town and you subscribe, leave me a comment, introduce yourself. I'd love to get to know you. We'd love to have you as part of the channel. And if you want to support the channel, then feel free to watch this next ad in its entirety. It really helps the channel. It helps me put out more content, and we just really appreciate it. So go ahead and watch this next ad. All right, as always, /NGF20 January futures chart. We're on the daily time frame, and I want to go ahead and just talk about what happened today in the markets. You can see as of yesterday, if you watch yesterday's video, we talked a lot about this support level, the support range supply zone down here. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So today I was thinking that we would reach for this level and touch it, get into it, and then moving into Thursday that we might start to see our upside if we get that first withdrawal of the season. So it's really interesting that we sort of stopped dead right here and we pushed back up. Now I want to go into the 5-minute chart just to look intraday time frame and see what we had going on here today. And it looks like we opened up this morning and then just sort of bounced around. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of just a big corkscrewing that happened, but it did have this big push up to the upside. So not a whole lot of activity, just kind of an up-down corkscrewing out to right now. The markets are now closed, but kind of interesting when we really thought, I was feeling pretty certain that we were going to reach down into this support level. Now, this doesn't mean that this can't take place over the next few days. Just depending on that Thursday's natural gas report. So that'll be really pivotal. We will be watching it closely at 8:30 my time, 10:30 Eastern time as to what's going to happen with that and to see if we get that first withdrawal of the season. So not much more to go over other than, we could reach down here. This is still a supply zone to me. This is still a take profit zone at this first overhead resistance level. And as I mentioned yesterday, as we work our way up through the levels, we're going to have opportunities to sell more of our position into strength. So with that, what I want to do is I want to actually jump over and show you a trade of mine that is a great example of nibbling shares, in my opinion, and then selling into strength. And when I say selling into strength, I mean selling into an up move that gets near resistance, that starts to show some resistance. So with that, let's jump over here, and I want to take you guys on over to ticker symbol SHOP. This is Shopify. Now, I've been watching Shopify for a while, and this is a stock, a large cap stock that I'm very interested in terms of holding long term, and also looking into in terms of options premium. So what I had here, if I show my trades, I'm going to show, so what we're talking about is right in here. So as you can see, we had touched this area, this line here. Again, I drew this zone. These two lines are a supply zone or support level. So this stock had traded down, touched it, moved away from it, and then came back again, used that supply zone, came away, and came back. Now on this day, which was November 5th, as it touched and settled in there, I went ahead and bought 5 shares at $298.20. So that was my first little nibble of shares, small share size. Then we had a doji, we hung tight, and I was wondering, okay, if we're gonna go higher, I'm gonna leave it alone, wait for the next pullback to go ahead and add to my position. We didn't get the up move, we got another down move to the bottom of this channel right here. So I went ahead and added 5 more shares at $284. Then we got a big solid up move, and so I've just left the position alone. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 days, I've let this trade run. I just said I'm going to let it go. It can go as high as it wants, and I'll wait for the pullback before I add more to my position. But then we got into today, and I was looking back at, and let me zoom in a little bit more, this big green day where we broke above the 50 simple moving average was really exciting because I thought, okay, we got the break, we're going to go higher and then pull back. But then we got a red day that came in and took us back below the 50. So what that said to me was, the technical analysis side of me said, we're getting a little bit of rejection by the 50, we're closing below it, so I need to be really careful with this. The other thing I was watching is you can see over time, we've kind of got this descending line here, this resistance line, that every time it touches it, it tends to sell off. Touches here and sells off, comes up, sells off, comes up. We broke through, so I thought, okay, this is great. But then we sold off, so I thought maybe it's just a quick slip above and we're going to come back inside. So I was watching it today, and we started to push up nice and high again, and I thought we were going to continue going higher. But then what happened was we ultimately got rejected by these highs and started to sell off again. And as we sold into this doji and we're down around 315, we were setting up a very bearish looking doji with a tall upper wick, and we were being trapped underneath the 50 simple moving average. So what that signaled to me was we were getting some selling pressure above, and based on history being these last few taps through here, 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 and here, it's very likely that we could sell back off back down to the supply zone. So what I did was we met resistance. I said, great, I'm going to go ahead and dump 5 shares. And here's the key. I have my TD Ameritrade set up in a fashion that they call last in, first out. It's called LIFO, L-I-F-O. And what that means is the last share size that you buy, those are the first shares to be sold. So this is kind of a strange concept, and I actually just learned about this within the last year or so, is that when you buy 5 shares at $298.20 and then 5 shares at $284, when you sell at $315, which bank of 5 gets sold? You actually have control over that, and I didn't realize that. You can choose the last in, first out, or first in, first out. So you can choose which bank is to go first. And what I like to do is do last in, first out. So the last bank of shares that I took in were 5 shares at 284, not 298. This was the first. This one was the last. So that's going to be the first out. And the reason I do that is because when I'm nibbling shares, it's very common for me to nibble as we're going lower. So this first bank of shares right here, as we come up, the last that I took in are going to be the first to be sold. So because I nibble shares going lower, as price reverses and when I want to sell, I always want to sell the shares that I bought lowest. I want to sell those first because that's going to be the biggest profit for me. So I went ahead and sold 5 shares that I bought at 284. I went ahead and sold all 5 of those at 315. So a nice little scalpy profit in here. I guess not a scalp, but just kind of a trimming of size. But nibble in supply zones, and then sell into resistance. That seems to be a really safe way to play things. And then if we get the pullback, I can always add back to the position to then go higher. Okay, are you ready for the code word? We're at the end of the video. You've been rewarded, you've watched the whole thing, and now you get the code word. The code word is Pegasus. Type Pegasus in the comments below, and the first 5 people, I'm gonna pick one of you, and you get to pick the topic of the next video. Good luck.